might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's try that again. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy New Year to everyone. Happy 2024. Welcome to 2024. It is a new year. We have left 2023 behind. We are moving forward, marching forward into 2024, where we are going to crush it. All right. Let's forget, some great things in 2023, some bad things in 2023, whatever it may be. But that is the past. We are moving forward. So that is what we are going to, we're going to be focusing on the future. We're going to focus on being great. So if you do not know who I am your host of the show, Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineered to win. I want to say a good morning already to B Peace. Good morning to you, one of my amazing supporters. All right. So, I am going to, the couple of things, right? Number one, we had an amazing show yesterday where we were able to deploy our application to, AWS Elastic Beanstalk using Code Pipeline. We used a guide through honeybadger.io from Samsung Omojola. It was really good stuff. So this coming Thursday, we'll be working on setting up the subdomain, most likely through Route 53. I started a little bit yesterday, but it didn't go exactly as I planned. But we're going to work on that this coming Thursday, and we're just gonna continue to win, continue to level up. Right? We do have the Q&A show coming tomorrow night, and yep. So the schedule stays the same. We might be making some enhancements and modifications coming up, but the show goes on. We are we don't do New Year's resolutions. We continue to set our goals and we continue to achieve them. All right. So just the same way that we do in the live streams where we set a goal, what we're looking to do, we might not get it that same stream, but we do get it eventually. So the other thing is we finished the rock paper scissors challenge last week. Amazing work. We are going to be moving on to a new challenge. So one of my plans for the challenges going into 2024 is I'm going to remove the Git branching challenging because I think we did enough of that, and it's we got the gist of it down, right? So what I'm probably going to do is on alternate weeks. So let's say this week we're going to be working on the Chaos Camp challenge, right? But then the following week we're probably going to do like a Code Wars and then alternate back and forth. That way we can get some variety in our challenges and in the languages that we work on and stuff like that, right? To me the Chaos Camps, they're very specific, very comprehensive and stuff like that. But we also want to get some coding challenges that we can exercise our coding skills. All right. So that's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm looking into. Things can change. So we will build it as we fly it. All right. So what we're going to do today, we're going to review a few news articles and we are going to introduce our next challenge. I don't think we're going to have time to actually get into the challenge, but we will introduce it. It's going to be related to AI testing and stuff like that. So yeah, let's do that. All right. So, but first and foremost, let me put up our timer on the clock. Put our clock up, and we are going to. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can put up. What do I want to do? Let's go with 10 minutes, right? Let's go at 10 minutes. And let's swoop over to our that wasn't our alarm. I don't know if you heard it, but that was an alarm on my phone. But I stopped it. So, anyways, it is Monday. Something to do. I have scheduled to do on Mondays, but I will do it after. So let's go into it. All right. So the first article that we are going to be reviewing is expect more turbulence on flights. So for those of you who are frequent flyers, I'm going to reset the clock as well. We're going streaming in the new year already. So, all right, let's go. So, expect more turbulence on flights. So, let's read together. Clear air turbulence has been making flights dangerously bumpy and is expected to get worse. The treacherous conditions which is invisible to pilots and undetectable on most current radar systems is a consequence of a warming Earth. When warm air rises from the ground to the jet stream, it scrambles the fast currents that planes like to catch to create a destination more quickly with less fuel. Over the past 4 decades, this type of turbulence has increased by up to 55% in some regions around the world, and researchers predict some regions will see it triple in the next 3 to 6 decades. So, for all of you guys who like to fly, like to take trips, expect more turbulence to come up than you've been having before. So, I'm not crazy about flying. I'm not crazy about traveling in the first place. But hearing more turbulence, that does not sound good to me. But that is our first story for today. Let's move on to the next story. So this story says Americans lose their taste for beer. Is that possible? Jeez. Are Americans losing their taste for beer? So it says, as Americans ring in the new year, it won't be with beer. 2023 marked the lowest level of beer consumption in the US in a generation, says industry group Beer Marketers Insights, with shipments expected to miss 200 million barrels for the first time since 1999. The Bud Light controversy may have played a role, but so did new competition like canned cocktails and spiked teas. Those are pretty good. Also at play, changing taste. A fall survey found that Generation Z drank less than any other adult age group, and when they did, they chose spirits, not beers. Yep. So, beer drinking is changing across the US apparently. Okay, so who would have thought that would happen, right? Let's jump into over here. An IPO boom is coming. All right, so an IPO boom. So let's see what's going on. This is about money and stuff, right? So analysts are expecting a surge in IPOs next year. Sometimes I read what I want to read, right? So analysts are expecting a surge in IPOs next year. One reason for that is necessity, as more startups are becoming cash strapped. Roughly 1,200 private companies will exhaust their financial reserves by the end of next year, according to Discovery Capital Management. And startups won't be able to rely on venture capital firms as much as they have in the past. Brad Gerstner, founder and CEO of Altimeter Capital, says it's wishful thinking to expect investors in the private market to overpay for your stock. So, looks like things are coming back a little bit more back to reality, which might force companies to go public. And from what I've seen in the past, right, some companies, it might sound like it's a good idea. And then as soon as they go public, like they have a hot day one and then a crash and burn, within very quickly, so once it gets out there to the public, you're at the mercy of the public, right? So it is going to be interesting to see what happens with all these IPOs. Um, uh, the times are changing, right? Like maybe a few years ago, there was excess money, or people were just like not spending it wisely. But as things tighten it down, with inflation and with interest rates rising and everything like that, as Marlo says, the price of the brick is going up. So that means that there might be a lot of companies going for IPOs this coming year. So we shall see. We shall see. All right. Let's move on to our next article. It says Gen Z and their bosses to face off in 2024. We are going to have an all out brawl. Bring out Dana White and the MMA, the UFC cage, right? Is 2024 the year Gen Z and their bosses finally reach a compromise? Demographic expert Bradley Sherman believes so, predicting a great negotiation is on the horizon. Employees will need to rethink their concept of employee loyalty now that a 9 to 5 job on its own is no longer offers the kind of economic promise it once did. Sherman warns that everyone will suffer the consequences if employers don't start embracing concerns about remote and hybrid work flexibility and long-standing unrest over pay. We already see we already are seeing this to some degree because we can't fill positions, he says. Um, so this is going to be interesting, right? Oh, we have a Gen Z career expert right here. Let's see. Why you may think the great negotiation is a potential battleground between Gen Z and their employers. I believe it presents an opportunity for positive change. Here's why. The great negotiation will focus on values over money. Okay. While financial compensation will still be a major focus, Gen Z will prioritize better working conditions and company culture, ethical practices, and social responsibility. The rise of the hybrid hustle, people will increasingly blend their passions with side project hustles. This could lead to a surge in entrepreneurial ventures, artistic expression, and innovative solutions to social problems. Redefining the American dream, the Great Negotiation forces us to redefine success beyond traditional metrics like salary and job title. Gen Z values purpose, work life balance, and social impact. This shift could lead to a more meaningful and fulfilling work experience for everyone. Um, Interesting. So it's going to be interesting to see how the new generation, um, and the new generation versus pretty much business interests in making money. How is that going to work? One thing I never really understood is like how all these people are able to afford just quitting and doing nothing. I don't know. We did read the article in the past that parents are going broke from their kids not wanting to work and do anything, um, you know, productive. To be frank, so they're tapping into their retirement funds and stuff like that. So now they can't retire because their kids want to negotiate and stuff like that. But the question is, at the end of the day, it all comes down to the money. And as we saw during the layoffs in 2022 and 2023, is when the money runs out, then like for instance, if you have a rent or a mortgage or something like that, and you say that you value what is it, like work life balance and purpose and social impact, but you can't pay your bills, then they are going to be like, well, figure out how to pay first, and then you can value all that other stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see how that battle breaks down. All right. So the next one, which dude, speaking of, right, it says reneging on retirement. So the workforce is likely to stay pretty crowded in 2024. Inflation and interest rates are still high, and most Americans haven't been saving enough for their golden years. This means the eldest member of the workforce are feeling strapped for cash and pushing off retirement or reneging on it altogether. Research shows the majority of baby boomers expect to work until they physically can't, while 20% of Americans who have already retired are considering heading back to work. After all, boredom on a budget isn't anyone's idea of a post career peak, right? We just read about the Gen Z who are looking to negotiate their working conditions with their employers, but we're also seeing that the baby boomers and maybe Gen X, they're like, well, we're going to be working longer. So now, is there going to be competition between work for, are the baby boomers and the Gen X going to be able to pick up these new skills?
Lunch break.
Are they going to be able to pick up these new skills that the Gen Z might be qualified for, but don't want to do in order to continue to keep up their lifestyle and stuff like that? So it is going to be an interesting showdown because we have the older folks reneging on retirement while we have the younger ones who say they don't want to work under these conditions. So definitely something that we're going to see. All right, which leads us straight into our next article that says living to 100 will become less rare. So not only are the older generation not retiring, but they're going to be living a lot longer as well. So as the world's population lives longer, will we keep working until we're 80 or older? So that is a great question. As the world's population lives longer, will we keep working until we're 80 or older? In the US, the number of centenarians, however you say that, is projected to cross six figures in 2023. That growth largely reflects modern medicine advances and will continue to help doctors pinpoint how geriatrics can avoid the devastating impact of disease such as Alzheimer's, according to Thomas Pearls, director of the New England Centenarian. Oh my goodness, they're really trying to get me with those more than 3 syllable words. Study at Boston University. But as human lifespan stretches, resources that are vital to geriatrics lives, such as government pensions, superannuation funds, long-term care, and more, could be stretched and force communities to address this growth. Right. So they're always talking about how Social Security is running out because honestly, when they set it up, they did not think that you would live that long. And now that we are living longer, they can't afford us, right? So it is we need to start to plan for our future way past 60, 70, 80 years old, maybe to 100, maybe even 120 years old, that we need to be planning for what we're going to do going forward because so you got to look into your IRAs, into your 401ks, into your investments, all of that good stuff because the government's not going to be able to take care of you. They were never able to. So we need to make plans for our future. We need to like start early. One of the mistakes that I made was I did not know when I was a lot younger and I was being offered 401k what in the world that it was. we Google everything except for the things that are important to us. So if you have kids, definitely get them on the right path early. Start showing them what investment is. Start investing for them as well. From the day that they're born, so that they do not have to deal with this stuff once they're older. We also do not want to be a burden on our kids. We should be looking to make it easier for them, not to burden them. All right. So the last story for today is, once again, Elon Musk is the richest man on earth. So it says 2023 was a very good year for the world's richest people, worth an estimated $232 billion. Elon Musk topped the list according to Bloomberg, thanks to a record-setting performance in tech stocks. The net worth of Tesla CEO gained more than $95 billion as of Thursday, overtaking French billionaire Bernard Arnault, who is vying with Amazon founder Jeff Bezos for second place. All told, the year's top 500 earners' wealth jumped $1.5 trillion, reversing a loss of 1.4 trillion in 2022. So they came back up and hit a 0.1. So they're plus 0.1 trillion, right? So L'Oreal's Francois Betancourt became the first woman to reach a 100 billion fortune per the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. Indian billionaire Gutman Adani's wealth fell by 37.3 billion after a scathing report from short-selling Hindenburg Research. All right. So, first, it's a comeback year for the world's wealthiest. Congratulations to the wealthiest. I know some people might be very, very bothered by these rich people and stuff like that, but I'm not bothered at all, because when you have the proper investments and when they get richer, if you are properly invested, then your money should go up as well. But if you are hiding your money under a mattress, then it loses money, to be frank, right? So so this is cool. If you're and that's why it is important to be invested and stuff like that. I don't talk about investment because that is not my forte. But when I look back at my little investments for the past few years, they are on the up and up. So, but it's all about planning for the future, right? So, with that being said, that is our news stories for today. So what we're gonna do now, we are going to take a few minutes to look into the challenge. We're not going to. I don't think we're gonna actually get into the challenge today. It is New Year's. Just like last week, it was Christmas Day. But let's read through the GitHub for the Chaos Camp for the GitHub article, and we'll talk about what we'll be doing starting on Wednesday, right? So let's jump over to that, and we can probably spend let's go with 15 minutes. Right? Let's go with 15 minutes. We might not need that much time, but let's put it up anyways. All right. So 15 minutes up on the clock. And let's jump over to. All right. So this is the Chaos Camp Challenge created by our good friend Don. It is called the AI Test Challenge. So pretty much how to test AI. So let's read together. OpenAI API testing challenge, right? You have been provided an endpoint to the OpenAI API. Your goal is to ensure this AI system is robust, timely, and produce quality results across diverse inputs, right? So if you haven't done so yet, I already have one, but if you don't have one, you should go ahead and sign up for an OpenAI API account, right? Um, it's at this point in time, it's something that's needed, regardless if you're doing this challenge or not. Getting an OpenAI API account, you can do so many different things with it. All right. So once you've signed up for your API keys, and so once you signed up and you have your API key, you're gonna have to create an API key, right? Set it up as an environment variable on your machine. And what we can do is we can maybe today we'll go ahead and we will go into the API, the OpenAI account and show you where you can create your API key. This helps ensure the security of your API key by not hard coding into your script. Yeah, so export it. You'd use this key, like or this on your computer to export your OpenAI key. So in here is going to be the key that you get from OpenAI, right? So like it says, replace your API key with the actual key provided to you by OpenAI. So here we get into the challenges that we will take on as part of this repo. Okay. So the first one, task specific accuracy. Write a set of tests that sends specific prompts to the API and compare the results to a predefined answer set. All right. So I guess we're gonna have to find. Let's see. Is there any? I'm gonna have to find this predefined answer set somewhere. But that'll be some research that we're going to have to do. Um, let's see. Diverse input scenarios. Develop tests that generate a wide variety of prompts to examine how well the API handles diverse inputs and scenarios. So keep in mind, right? Because OpenAI, if you when you sign up a new account, I think they give you like a $5 credit. So it's not necessarily a free. This challenge is not going to like be free, but it is going to stimulate your mind, and it will help you get your feet wet with using AI and testing AI. Right? So that's going to be cool, and it's probably going to require us to read the documentation and stuff like that. So, so it's all like 2024. We have to invest in ourselves. All right, we definitely have to invest in ourselves to make ourselves better. So, develop tests that generate a wide variety of prompts to examine how well the API handles diverse inputs and scenarios. Long conversations. Design a test that simulates a prolonged interaction with the AI, ensuring the AI maintains context over a series of related prompts. So this means like you ask the AI a particular question, gives you an answer, and then you ask it a question based on the answer that it gave you, right? To make sure that it maintains the context over a series of related prompts. The next thing that we should be testing is the response time. Measure the response time for various queries. Provide a report on the average, minimum, and maximum response times. So here's the thing, right? We might not be familiar with how to do any of this, right? So it's going to take some research, some Googling. We're going to see when we do an API query, what do we get back, right? Does it give us a time and stuff like that? And then based on, we're going to have to like, so we'd have to do like, let's say we send 5 prompts, right? And we get the time that it took to respond for each of those. Then we're gonna have to we're gonna have to put that in like maybe a list or an array or something like that, and do a calculation and see what's the average, what's the fastest time, and what's the most time it took in those responses. So it's gonna be some math stuff. So get out your calculators, and then the next test is gonna be ethical and safety checks. Analyze the sentiment of AI's outputs on potentially sensitive prompts. Alert if the AI provides inappropriate responses. All right, so we're going to have to figure out how to provide that because a lot of times I've seen like when using AI, you ask it something, oh, we don't have this information or we don't feel comfortable talking about it. So that's going to be interesting to see. Multilingual capability, send prompts in various languages and validate the correctness of translation or responses. So this is going to be interesting because I'm not 100% sure how we're going to do this. But we'll find out, right? We'll find out. This is the purpose of challenges. Like a lot of people want to get into AI, prompt engineering, and stuff like that, but it's going to be imperative that we know how to the different strategies to test it, these are great strategies that Don has provided us. Now we just need to figure it out. Generalization, ability, create tests to evaluate the AI's ability to generalize from the data it was trained on. So I mean that's going to be a learning curve for me, definitely, right? I mean I use AI all the time, but not as much as the API part. Memory and context evaluation. Send a sequence of prompts, questions to the AI to see if it maintains context over the course of the conversation. This is similar to the long conversations one, but yeah. And then the last one, input validation and feedback loop. Actually, no, feedback loops. Design a feedback interface and store feedback. Ensure that the AI's output can be incorporated for feedback. We're going to have to look in this. This is going to be a pretty long challenge, right? So this might take us a few weeks to, maybe even a few months. I don't know. We'll see. Validate and sanitize inputs to the API. Use tools to test how well the system rejects or handles malicious inputs. All right. And then we get to submission. So provide the following code for your test and scripts, a detailed report of your findings, including any vulnerability or issues discovered, recommendations for improvements or fixes, submit your solutions, fork this repo, and create a pull request with the naming convention feature underscore your GitHub name. We'll review your submission and provide feedback. Cool. So what we can do, right, once we finally get through this, we can probably bring Don, or maybe not get through the whole thing, but let's say as we work through this, so let's say we get because getting immediate feedback is always helpful, right? So let's say we get through one or two of these scenarios, we can push it to the so we're definitely going to fork, and then we can push it to the we'll create the pull request with this particular naming convention, and we shall get some feedback. All right. So that's going to be the challenge that we're going to get into. Let's go and so let's fork this already, right? Let's just go ahead and fork this. So I'm going to fork this to my to mine over here, and create fork. And now we have our own working copy of it in our repo, so that now we can start working on it, and then we will open a pull request once we are done, because that's a good way to get feedback and get feedback, get comments, get code reviews. So there we are. So we have it forked. The next thing that we can do is take a quick look at the OpenAI stuff. Let me see. Go back. Actually, I don't want to leave the GitHub repo. And my good friend Operation Tech Takeover is in the chat. I am praying you didn't have work today, and that you are spending the time with the family. Tech Takeover says, peace and blessings, family. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, my brother. Happy New Year's to you too. I see that it's going to be a great and very productive year for us all. We are all coming together to, just to make things happen, to encourage each other, to build each other up. So that's always been my goal in this space to, number one, is to help navigate through all the nonsense and weird stuff that people say, trying to throw people off course in what they're doing, and then number two, to encourage and build you up so that we can have a more realistic and a better chance of accomplishing the things that we want to accomplish. I just don't like when people they use you for their own benefit and then they put you in a bad spot because pretty much they gave misinformation. So I say that we are going to be killing it this coming year of 2024. So welcome to 2024. Happy New Year's to everyone. So let's go and let's create this. I already have an account for OpenAI, but let's go here. Let me go full screen real quick. Not sure what they're going to show here. All right, so let's do that. All right, so I am logged into OpenAI. This is like, you should definitely go ahead and take a look through this over here to see all the stuff that they have. Build assistant, text generation, embeddings, image generation, text to speech, all this stuff, right? But what Don was mentioning in the GitHub documentation is you're going to need an API key. So under this little part here, let me make sure before I click on it, let me make sure there's nothing sensitive that shows. All right, cool. So what you are going to do is, because it blocks off the API key over here, right? But you're going to create a new secret key, right? And you're going to give it a name or something, and then you're going to create secret key. Once you do that, it is going to give you it's going to generate the key, give you the key, and you can copy that, right? Copy that key that it gives you. I'm not going to do it here because I don't want you to see my key, but you're going to copy that here, and then you will go here, and you would say, or actually, we can do this, right? We would do get a terminal window open so you can see what I mean. So like you would be here and you would do export OpenAI API key equals, and then 1, 2, 3 OpenAI API key XYZ. Well, so whatever your key is, right? So you do something like that, right? And then that would export your key. And now once you go to continue through this challenge, you should be good to go to do all that, right? So that would be how you get that set up. Let's see. So, and then we're going to have like a big part of what we're going to have to be doing is we're going to have to be reading through the documentation for the API to figure out how that stuff works. So learn how to generate text and call functions. So this is going to be great because not like in order to learn how to test it, we're going to have to learn how to use it. So we're going to learn a lot about, so in coming in these morning challenges, we're going to be stimulating our minds to learn a lot about these these AIs and these things like that, right? And it's available in Node. It's available in Python. Probably stick to Python as I'm more familiar with that. But as we get more familiar with Node, we can do some work in Node as well. So, we'll start off with the text generation model, right? So it's basically like here, right? So task specific accuracy, write a set of tests that send specific prompts to the API and compare the results with predefined answer set. The question is, where will we get these predefined answer sets? That will be a good, good things to find out, right? So that's going to be our goal. That's going to be our plan going forward. You know, uh, And that is our time for today. But that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. We're going to be playing with AI. So this week, we will, so Wednesday and Friday, we're going to be going through this challenge. Next week, we'll probably be jumping over into Code Wars to do some actual more coding based challenges so we can stimulate our minds on that. And then the following week, we'll probably jump back into here. And we'll be reading through documentation. I mean, we're going to have to, because this is totally new for me as well. So it's going to be reading through a lot of documentation. on how to do this. So using OpenAI's text generation models, you can build applications to draft documents, write computer code, answer questions about a knowledge base, analyze text, give software a natural language interface, tutor in a range of subjects, translate languages, stimulate characters for games. All right. So we're going to figure this out. We're going to find out what is going to be our predefined answer set and go from there. All right. So, reading through the APIs, figure out all this stuff. Let's see. Take a look at the response real quick. Told you how many tokens to use, prompt tokens, total tokens. Yep. I mean, it's gonna be something to do, right? We're going to figure this out. We are going to learn. But with that being said, let's wrap up our day for today. It's gonna be fun. 2024 is going to be very, very challenging, informative, all that good stuff. And we are going to win. We're going to crush it. We are going to kill it. All right. So, with that being said, I want to thank you guys for being here with me this New Year's morning. Welcome to 2024. Let's go out there and crush our goals. I have a candid conversation coming up at noon. We have the question and answer coming out at 3 p.m. today. And then tomorrow night, we will be going live for our Q&A show, right? So looking forward to it all. Looking forward to an amazing 2024. I want to wish you guys one last time Happy New Year's. And on that note, this is Tech Coach Ralph signing off in the morning. Let's go out there and have a beautiful New Year's Day, and let's crush this week.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.